Men, have you ever sat in a therapist's office and thought, this does not feel like it's working for me? Not because something is wrong with you, not because you're broken or closed off or not ready to do the work, but because somewhere in the back of your mind, something, it just doesn't fit. I want to talk to you about why that feeling might be a lot more legitimate than anyone else has ever told you, because the truth is that the mental health system was not built with men in mind. I've had many people come to see me who have tried therapy, and I am not a therapist. And I've been hesitant to talk about this, but recently there was a study which has prompted me to speak about it and gives me grounds to speak about it. The mental health system was not built with you in mind, and understanding why that happened isn't about blaming anyone. It's about getting you the right tools for the right job. So let's get into it. To understand how this happens and where we are now, we have to go back. For centuries, mental health care was not care. It was control. And the people being controlled were women. Women were diagnosed with something called hysteria. It was applied to anything that made men feel uncomfortable. Anxiety, depression, grief, having an opinion. The treatments were barbaric, institutionalization, lobotomies, electroshock therapy, and all designed and signed off by a profession built entirely by men. Early psychology told women that their suffering was their own fault, a product of their biology, not circumstance, not the world that they were living in. Women weren't patients, they were problems to be managed. In the 60s and 70s, women fought back. They built something new, feminist therapy, based on the idea that your pain is not a personal failing. It is often a rational response to a world that wasn't built to support you. And that changed things. It pushed the whole field to reckon with its own bias, to think about what it created. The system did change, and it still left men behind. It wasn't built for men. It was not built for you. Those parts, there's something called shadows. Those parts of ourselves that we've been taught to bury. Your grief, your fear, your pain. We were taught as men that they had no part in our lives. And whilst women were being pathologized, told their emotions were a symptom of illness, men were being handed a different message, but it was equally damaging. You don't have emotions, and if you do, deal with it yourself. That's the first rule of being a man. Don't talk about it, shut up, and deal with it. Man up. And I've literally spoken to somebody today about this. This very day I'm recording this, I spoke to a man who said, "Oh, it's ridiculous. I struggle with this." I'm like, is it ridiculous? I don't think it's ridiculous. Why is that so ridiculous that you would struggle with self-doubt? And like I said earlier, many of the guys, this guy included, have been to therapy and it has not worked. And they feel as though they're broken. And I'm here to say you're not broken. So the man up thing, well, that didn't come from nowhere. It was baked into the patriarchal system that harmed women. It just expressed itself a bit differently. Women controlled through diagnosis, men controlled through silence. And both of these have a body count. We all keep saying that most men don't ask for help. That's the story. That's the campaign. That's what we're trying to fix. But actually what happens when men reach out? 91% of men who died by suicide had already been in contact with a frontline service, a GP, mental health services, or similar, between 40 and 54 years old. 67% had been in contact with in the last 3 months before their death. 38% were contacted in the week before they died, and around half has specifically engaged with mental health services. These men did the thing that we keep telling men to do. They walked through the door of a therapist, of a mental health specialist, of some doctor, and they asked for help, and they showed up, and they got this, the number that should make everyone working in mental health to stop and reflect. 80% of men who were actively in therapy when they died had been assessed as low or no risk by their therapist. And I'm not knocking therapists. I'm not knocking therapy. Just saying it probably isn't a thing for men. They were in the room doing the work and the system still missed them. So the question is, the question is not why won't men open up? The real question, the harder question is, are we equipped to receive them when they do? Are we equipped to receive men when they do open up? Can we handle it? Most people feel incredibly uncomfortable when a man opens up to them. Don't know what to do. Don't have the tools. The only time it really happens among peers is when you've had a lot of alcohol. You've had a lot to drink. You speak to your mate, and then it's just this silly thing that you did when you were drunk because you don't know how to handle it. So we need the tools. We need to give men the right tools for the right work. And here's the problem. A lot of what we call therapy is built on a specific set of tools that were shaped consciously or not around how women process pain. Verbal, emotional expression, talking about feelings in the abstract is not really how men talk about things, and relational processing, unpacking how you feel about how you feel, is not useful for men. We don't do that. There's value in it, but not for most men. And some men it maybe does work, and you've had a great experience in therapy, and that's great. But if you spent 30, 40, or 50 years being trained to suppress, perform, and push through, walking into a room and being asked to do all of that immediately, how you feel with a stranger in a language you were never taught to speak. How do I even talk about my emotions? Where are they? What the fuck are they? I mean, when I started doing this work, my coach, he had to use a feelings wheel with me. And really, I had no idea. You have to remember that men, you have no idea. Some of you have no idea how you feel, and that's okay. And by the way, feelings are not problems. They're great information. They're feedback, incredible feedback. So it's very useful. It's a superpower when you start to tune into it. So men, we don't need to be taught to feel more. We just need to be taught how to experience what's already there. There's a difference between asking a man, what are you feeling, and helping him notice what's happening in his body, his patterns, his behaviors. It's the question that landed in your body and the ones that didn't. And when the language doesn't land, most men don't push back. They ask for translation. What the hell does that mean? How do I feel about that? I don't know. I have no idea. Well, I have no fucking idea. You know what? This isn't for me. And they disengage and they stop coming back. And the therapist marks it on the file. Disengaged, resistant, low risk. Nothing's going to happen. And yeah, add that to the stress most linked to male crisis are practical and structural relationship breakdown, job loss, debt, financial pressure. Those are not internal psychological problems. They're external pressures crushing a man from the outside. And he needs help with them. He needs direction. He wants to have direction. Just tell me what the fuck I need to do and I will do it. Most clinical settings are not designed for that. There's no disclosure, no help, really, is my understanding. Now, what I've realized is that men are no longer initiated. We lack initiation. We don't have it in our society. And yet we've had these rites of passages. We've had initiation for thousands and thousands of years, and they've been there for a reason. And the reason is to help us understand who we are, help us navigate this vessel that we exist in, and to help us understand why we're here, what we can do, what happens when I'm stressed, how do I deal with that? So quite an important thing to have, and that we've now seemed to have largely lost. Rites of passage, initiation, and the right space, the right containers to do that work in. That's not something you do around women. You need other men to do that with you often. There is some history of certain women elders, female elders, who initiate younger men, but largely it would be men taking other men off for initiation. But where are the elders? We've lost the elders. So it's not that a man is unwilling to do the work. It's not that you're unwilling to do the work. It's not that you are incapable of doing the work. It's that there is very few spaces to go to do the work. Where do you go? Oh, okay, I'll join a men's circle. So I've heard they're a good thing. That's largely down to the person running the men's circle, whether that's a good thing or not. It's better than probably nothing because it's run by men, but we lack the tools, remember. So perhaps you've got to kiss a few frogs before you find the right thing, but keep trying to find the right thing. So what works for men? Challenge-based relationships. Men grow from doing things together, not just talking about things. That's how you grow. You grow from doing things with other men. I learned that in the military. We would do challenges together. We would train together. We would suffer together. And that would make us grow together. We'd bond. Something called somatic work. Somatic work is about getting out of your head. Stop ruminating, stop overthinking things, and get into your body and understand what's happening in here. What feedback are you getting? What pain have you got in here? That's very important. Get into community with other men. A couple of nights a week would be amazing around other men. You don't need to talk about feelings. Just be around each other. Do something. Don't be there in performance mode. Just be there with each other. It's incredible. Useful tools. We want useful tools. Men like tools. We like sheds. We like, fixing things. Frameworks for understanding how you act, your shadow, your self-sabotage, not just a space to talk about stuff, to vent. We also need tools. We want tools. We're looking to fix things. We want to be fixed. We have a problem. We want to sort the problem out. We want results. Reframing the language instead of what are you feeling? Try what are you experiencing? Sounds like a small shift to make, but it's a useful shift. Emotional work is a skill, and all of this work is a skill. And like any other skill, it requires the right training and the right environment. And with enough reps, you'll get there. You don't just walk into a gym on day one and expect to be able to deadlift 200 kilos. And you don't also expect to walk into a therapist's office having never been taught the basics and perform like, oh, what's going on in here? I don't even know where the hell here is. So you're not broken. As a man, you are not broken. There's just a big training gap, and it's useful to know that. So the system that harmed women for a long, long time is also failing men, has also failed men, just differently in a different way. And it was easier to ignore because men were supposed to be okay, supposed to be fine. And the stats show that we're not. They're not. You're not necessarily. You're still not fine. Um, you're not broken, but you're not fine. And you're not the problem. And the answer isn't to keep telling men to open up and hand them tools that don't fit. It's like, here's a door that needs fixing. Here's a sledgehammer. Like, you can't fix a door with a sledgehammer. So the answer is to do the actual work in the right space, develop the right language, and stop pretending that one model fits all people. It doesn't. Healing works for everyone, but healing's happening in different ways for different people. If you're a man listening to this and something has resonated, I want you to know the fact that you're here listening and thinking about this, you've already taken something. So don't let anyone tell you otherwise. The work is hard, but you were built for hard things. The question is just whether you've got the right tools in your hands. If you would like to stop trying to figure it out on your own, please get in touch with me for a conversation. I lead men through rites of passage. We do a lot of in-person stuff, and I work with men all over the world. And I would be honored and privileged to speak to you if you are looking to step into this work. It's not for everyone, but you'll never regret doing it. All right. Lots of love. And I'll see you on the flip side.